Hi, I'm Adam Gentimori, and we are at the Fête de Tête de Moine in Bellelay, Switzerland. And I have the pleasure of spending a few minutes with Olivier Isler, the head of the AOP designation in Switzerland, and also Sarah, who will be saving me because I don't speak very much German. So thank you very much both for joining me. And my first question, please, is how long have you worked for the AOP?
Ich arbeite seit einem Jahr da für die AOP, also beim Bund, und vorher habe ich während 23 Jahre für die geschützte Ursprungsbezeichnung Tête de Moine gearbeitet.
So he works for AOP, for the government, for 1 year now, but before he worked 23 years for the profession Tête de Moine, so like for the head of Tête de Moine.
Okay, so you have been around Tête de Moine for a long time.
Yes.
Excellent. And what is your role? What job do you have with the AOP?
Also unsere Arbeit ist die Registrierung der geschützten Ursprungsbezeichnung und geschützte Angaben, geografische Angaben in der Schweiz. Es sind insgesamt 42 IGs, welche in der Schweiz registriert sind.
So his job is actually to work for the registration of the AOP, so like the geographical zone where those products are produced, and those zones are like those at the origin, like of these zones are protected.
Okay, excellent. And for those that are unfamiliar, AOP means appellation de région protégée, and I apologize for my pronunciation. It's a way of protecting where a food comes from. It defines what it can be, it defines what it can't be, and it's very important in protecting the traditions of these foods. This is what allows each country to maintain control over how things are made and how things are sold and marketed. It's a very important tool to help protect the history and the tradition of foods that date back hundreds of years. Some of these foods are, Tête de Moine is 800 years old. So it's very important that these countries have a way to protect their products and their heritage. Now, for the AOP, one thing that I find very interesting is that because Switzerland is not part of the EU, you do not have anything to do with the PDO, which is it was formed in 1992, and it means Protected Designation of Origin. It's like AOP, but on a larger scale to apply to all of the countries within the EU. Because Switzerland isn't part of the EU, they do not have to apply or abide by what the PDO says. Now, what I find interesting is that the AOP seems to be more detailed, more information, stricter, with a more definition and more control over their products. Is that correct?
Ja, das stimmt. Also es gibt die Gesetzgebung, sind seit 1997. Kann man in der Schweiz also ein Produkt als geschützte Ursprungsbezeichnung registrieren, und wir haben striktere Vorgaben als die EU für die Registrierung von Produkten.
So yeah, that's correct. In Switzerland, you can register your products since 1997, and yeah, the acquisition, the requirements for the registration are much stricter than in the European Union.
Excellent. Okay, and for Tête de Moine in particular, what are some of the most important guidelines or requirements for it to be an AOP cheese? What is most important for Tête de Moine?
Ich denke, das ist eigentlich die Rohmilchverarbeitung aus diesem Gebiet. Also die Milch muss aus dem Gebiet stammen, muss hier im Gebiet verarbeitet werden, auch veredelt werden. Und das ist eigentlich auch diese Milchqualität, Verarbeitung und eigentlich die Qualität des Produkts, die wirklich wichtig ist.
So the most important aspect is actually the raw milk. The raw milk has to be from this geographical zone. And so everything about the milk, so like where the milk comes from, the production, everything, considering the milk that goes into the Tête de Moine has to come from here, from this geographical zone that is protected under this AOP.
And am I correct that it's 20 kilometers is the range for the milk?
Ja, also es ist eigentlich das ganze Gebiet, wenn das ganze Gebiet ziemlich klein ist, also für andere Produkte wie Gruyère, wo das Gebiet größer ist, muss die Milch innerhalb von 20 Kilometern geliefert werden. Tête de Moine ist nicht der Fall, wenn das Gebiet viel kleiner ist.
So those 20 kilometers apply only to products where the geographical zone of production that is protected is wider. So like for example, for other cheese like Gruyère, where the geographical zone is much wider, there the milk of the producers has to come from a radius of within 20 kilometers. But as for Tête de Moine, the geographical zone is much smaller. So like this is not calendar.
Und in der Regel sind es nie mehr als 20 Kilometer, auch hier in diesem Gebiet. Ja.
So like it's like never more than 20 kilometers in this zone.
And what is common? If 20 is way large, what is typical?
Also zwischen 5 und 10 Kilometer, das ist eigentlich der Durchschnitt, ja, würde ich sagen. Ja, ja.
So like between 5 and 10 kilometers.
So much smaller areas. Last question I have. Do you think the AOP for Tête de Moine, for Emmentaler, for any of them, is good as it is now, or is it something that you are always looking at to change if needed, or make alterations, or is it good just the way it is?
Also es gibt die Möglichkeit, Pflichtenheften anzupassen, auch mit technologischen Entwicklungen, aber die Grundsätze, die Qualität des Endproduktes darf nicht beeinträchtigt werden durch diese Fortschritte bei der Technologie. Und da sind wir eigentlich sehr strikte, dass es eigentlich keine Entwicklung geben darf, die eigentlich zu einer Verschlechterung der Endproduktqualität führt.
So like there is this book, like this booklet, where all the requirements for the AOP are in, and you can do certain changes regarding technology, for example, but it's very important, and they are very strict about that those progress in technologies does not have an impact on the end quality of the product. So their AOP is very strict and they control that, and yeah, this has to be required.
Excellent. Well, Olivier, thank you for your time.
Thank you
Sarah,
very much.
Thank you for your German.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me. If you happen to be in Bellelay, Switzerland, please think of coming down to the festival, the Fête de Tête de Moine. It's going on through the weekend in Bellelay. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Emmentaler, and we'll see you soon.